Buenas noches, buenas noches, buenas noches. Muy buenas noches. Realmente es un gran gusto para mí estar con ustedes en esta ocasión tan especial. Quiero decirles que para mí el libro del que en cuestión, para mí fue una Biblia, como lo ha sido para tantos otros, en el sentido de que nuestro libro ha sido realmente de cabecera. Yo puedo decir que mi tema de especialidad son las clases características en variables singulares, y el punto de partida es el libro del profesor Milnor. Es un libro que ha sido realmente, es un clásico en la literatura, es un gran honor poderlo tener en español, es el fruto de mucho trabajo, primero de César Lozano, que hizo la traducción, ¿sí? Luego Oscar Palmas, que no lo veo, no sé si está por ahí, de Oscar Palmas, hizo una revisión de la traducción. Y bueno, todo el trabajo del equipo de publicaciones ha sido realmente sensacional. El equipo encabezado por Laura Ortiz, no sé dónde está Laura. Está allá atrás, tratando de ser modesta. Y sin más preámbulo, los dejo con los doctores Alberto Verjovsky y Santiago López de Medrano, quien van a comentar algo acerca del libro. No sé.
Probably in English, because it's a celebration to Professor Milnor.
Both.
Eh? It's okay? Well, of course, as one of two of the oldest members of this community, and sometime we'll arrive to you also, I hope. The other option is worse, so I hope you get old. And it's a real pleasure to make the introduction of this fantastic book, Characteristic Classes, which I knew from the very beginning, the first mimeograph notes that were increasing, were fantastic, and as Pepe said, were fundamental for us, contain many information on not only characteristic classes, but many other things related to differential topology and different facts. And for me, it's a real pleasure, for instance, that a part of Pontryagin classes, a special type of characteristic classes, the combinatorial definition for PL manifolds was actually presented by René Thom in the famous book of the 56th Congress. And one of the questions was if these classes defined combinatorially were topologically invariant, and that was the result of Novikov, Sergei Novikov, and he was granted the Fields Medal for that. And so these notes were circulated, and actually, because of the perfectionist and the perfection of the books of Professor Milnor, took a long time to go to a final form. They were better, they were increased. They were written in collaboration with the Professor Stashik, but the first set of notes were only by Professor Milnor. And here you have a list that Santiago collected of books that were absolutely fundamental for our education, and I'm sure they will be there eternal. One virtue of mathematics is that it's eternal. It's perfectly correct if you go to a library, to the administration of a library, say, I want 2 copies of Riemann's book. It's eternal. If you say this, I want 2 copies of Commodore 64, I'm sure you probably won't buy it, but you say, I want 2 copies of this. To me, these notes by James Monkers were fantastic. They are really beautiful. They were actually bibliograph. I still have them black, of use. And they were also circulating some notes on differential structures of manifolds, also like secret. I still have them. We learned the basic things like connected sum, etc. And the books are, well, of course, it was fantastic this era of the 60s, to which I think I belong, even though I'm more 70s, but let's say I'm a product of the great topology of the 60s in some sense. And I mean, things like the both periodicity theorem, the finding which homotopy spheres were parallelizable, the Pontryagin-Thom construction, the calculation of the spheres, the cobordism, etc., was a fantastic era for my generation. And I remember asking Santiago what was happening. I went to Brown. I was a student of Lefschetz. I didn't go to Princeton. He took me to Brown, where he moved. And so I heard of the news of Princeton with Santiago. And the first time I heard about the Briscoe manifolds and the fact that a polynomial in 5 variables could give you an exotic sphere of Milnor. Already the existence of an exotic sphere to me was a fascinating thing. When I saw the book of characteristic classes, and I saw that if you take a sphere of dimension 4 and you take a sphere bundle of dimension 3 and you twist it, you can get those things. I was very happy because the analogy with length spaces was clear. And that I have learned when I was younger. And so looking at this and the fact that they were exotic because it could be measured by characteristic classes was fascinating. Then, as usual with the books of Professor Milnor, I read many times Moore's theory, and I say, now I know it. And then I took it, and I realized I really still hadn't learned it completely. And that happened over and over and over. For instance, I remember that one footnote is the proof that the three-dimensional cohomology of a Lie group, of a semi-simple Lie group, is never 0. It's just a Killing form. It's just a footnote because he found a closed 3 form, which is not homologous to 0. And that, therefore, I learned that S7 is parallelizable and it's not a Lie group. And that was the first, in that moment, just reading the footnote, I discovered something that I had questioned myself for many, because S3, so which spheres are groups? Is 1, of course, is the multiplicative group of the circle. The sphere S3 is the unit group of quaternions, and S7, maybe it was, no? And that footnote, and then when they came the lectures on the Schoberdis theorem was fantastic for me because I thought I learned the proof by Smale and handle sliding, cancellation of handles, and I was very happy also because it's a great application of dynamical system, which was my subject, and the use of gradients to prove that is really crystal clear, and you understand what is written, and it's beautiful. So in each one of these books has made an impact on me. Of course, Singular Pairs of Complex Hypersurface, it's a fantastic book. In fact, some of the collaboration, we have a group working on singularities. Pepe talked about it, and that book was absolutely fundamental. Not only the book on characteristic classes, but this book, and especially the Milnor vibration theorem, is fascinating. And the fact that you can obtain knots, if you take in situ an isolated singularity, a germ of isolated singularity, and cut it with a sphere, it's just something that it really shows the beauty of mathematics and why we are here. We are here because we love it. It's fantastic. And Professor Milnor writings is such a perfection that it's really fantastic to read it and to learn. And you never finish learning. Well, I could go to every one of those. The last one, well, I treat dynamics. I work a little bit on dynamics in one complex. Iteration of rational functions. Well, it's a fundamental book. So every one of those books is fantastic. But we're supposed to be talking about this book. And this book here, but this is just, it's a book that we are blessed to have it translated into Spanish, and we thank the people. It really had a great influence. It's a must read. It's really, you have to read it from first to, it's eternal. You will say, well, it was finished, it started in the 50s and was finished in the 60s. No, you will be here like the Bible forever. It's a beautiful, so it's for me a great pleasure to participate in this ceremony. All this that I'm saying is completely improvised. I don't have a text, but it's so easy to do it when you are presenting someone like Milnor with so many beautiful books and ideas. And so I also thank Professor Milnor for giving us that gift of so many beautiful ideas and books. Thank you.
¿Sí entendieron? ¿Sí? Sigo en inglés. Okay, so I put up here a list of books by Jack Milnor, That's the list in Wikipedia. But then I added the first one. The first one it's not a book, it's just mimeograph notes, but now it can be obtained very easily by Googling it. Okay. I had a chance to go to Princeton. Lefschitz took me to Princeton. Why? I don't know. And then I was very lucky there to go to courses by Professor Milnor. I still remember. I have all my notes written. But I think the good news is that you don't have to be so lucky as to hear them directly. But many of his courses, I think all of here come from courses. All the books come from notes from courses, yes? So many of his courses are available to everybody. And that's a great thing because they are all so very good. Before going to Princeton, I already had read this. We had a seminar with Fico, Winkelkemper, several others. And this was directed by Professors Cárdenas and Vázquez, whose picture you saw yesterday in David's talk. Okay, so these are the books. I have my favorites. Of course, differential topology, Morse theory, lectures on the H-cobordism. Then I come down to topology from a differential point of view. And of course, the one here, but the thing is, I want to make I have a different impression from this book than from the others. The others sort of take a certain aim. There's a theorem to be explained and proved with detail and care, but in an elegant, beautiful way. Here we have the geometrical Tom-cobordism theorem, the geometrical part. H-cobordism is for the H-cobordism. Here, at the end, you arrive to Bott periodicity. And this last book is, the idea is to show how many hard topics from topology can be seen very nicely from the differentiable point of view. Of all these four, I've read them from the first to the last page, checked all the details, and I've used them sometimes for courses. With some of the students, I went through the Morse theory book, also from beginning to the end, and for a nice course on differential topology, I still would recommend to start with this one to get the basic ideas and then go to the notes. That's what I do when I teach differential topology. Characteristic classes. This is a different book, I think. It's quite different. There's not a theme. There are many themes. It's more like an encyclopedia. The word encyclopedic is sometimes a four-letter word. It's a bad word. It tells of someone who knows about a person or a book that knows about everything, but very superficially. No, that's not the case. But this book has 18 chapters. 18 chapters, an epilogue, and 3 appendices. And each one is a jewel. But I cannot say that I've read it all, that I've gone from the first to the last page, but I use it all the time. I use it all the time. Every theme, these many themes are there, and that's the place to look for them. Let's say the definition of the Whitney of the characteristic classes. Once I had a conjecture about some work of Whitney, where he spent a lot of time between a paper on a certain theme and the next one. And then I had the chance to ask him, why is that? Why did you take your time? It was what, difficult? He said, no, there was no difficult. It just was doing other things. What was really difficult for me, what took me so much hard work and time, was proving the product formula for the Whitney classes. And he added, and now it is an axiom. It's very, I don't know what he was talking about, but certainly he was not talking about this book. In this book, you see the characteristic classes first axiomatically, or you state the properties are stated and it's shown how they work. But then there are several constructions, actual constructions. One uses the Steenrod squares, which may be difficult. Then there's a construction using obstructions. Then for the Chern classes, there's an inductive construction. And then at the end, there's a construction based on differential geometry and curvature forms. For the Whitney classes, there's hidden another proof. The inductive proof for the Chern classes can be just copied for the Stiefel-Whitney classes in the same way. So there's this proof that was done in detail by one of my students, Yenra. So there are many constructions there, many things to make you think of characteristic classes, not as an axiomatic thing, but a very lively and geometric thing. Then, well, lots of other subjects. If you want to teach about the Thom isomorphism theorem, there's no better place to go than there. The Wu formula, the geometric theorem of cobordism again, the Hirzebruch formula with the addition of an explanation of the Bernoulli numbers. There's an epilogue with many new things. And also, if you want to teach algebraic topology, I think there's no better place than one of the appendices of this book, where it's all very detailedly explained, the homology theory, the cohomology theory, the ring structure, the cap product that you don't see very often. So even for teaching algebraic topology itself, which I never do, you can look at you can consider this appendix in the book. So essentially, that's all I wanted to say. If you want to understand the relation between curvature and characteristic classes, if you someday have that curiosity, this is the place to read it. I will read it someday. I haven't still, but I haven't had time. But I know it's there. There it is. When I have the time and the need, or just the curiosity to understand that part, I'll certainly go there.
See, it's full of jewels, really, as he says. Just one of my every corner uses something new. For instance, why S7 is parallelizable using octonius? Why S3 is parallelizable using quaternions? Why? So even the side, how you say, like you put the small, the set of problems is fantastic. And you learn a lot of things apart from that. You know, the Thomas Isomorphism theorem, the cover this, the signature formula, etc. But many of the other things that look like small remarks are jewels. And it's like you say, you learn and you never forget. Like, I can think of now that in what point the space to C infinity, the ring of C infinity functions of a manifold determines the differential structure of a manifold. It's fantastic, no? And then you see it's not so difficult, but it's a great, so it's full. So in other words, as soon as you leave this room, start reading it. That's the message. That's the message. Thank you.
Santiago, Alberto, thank you very much. And Professor Milnor, thank you very much for making our careers so much richer with your contributions, with your books, and thanks for being with us today. Thank you.
Well, I just want to thank Alberto and Santiago for their kind words. I have to tell you that these are my mathematical uncles, because my mathematical grandfather was Solomon Lefschetz, and Santiago and Alberto both studied directly with Lefschetz, so they're my seniors.
Bueno, pues, muchas gracias.